The next poem that I read to you is an ode to Calcutta, the city that has been a witness to all my firsts. This poem is a part of an anthology called Writing Places being published by the National Centre for Writing in the UK. The city is no longer officially called Calcutta. The government decided to change the name to the original Bangla roots, Kolkata. But for me, it remains till date Calcutta. And do not ask me what is in a name, because my answer is everything. Your name is important. Do not let them get it wrong. Do not allow them to get away with incorrect pronunciations of your very difficult names. Let their tongues dwell on every syllable until they have got it right. Your name is not easy. It wasn't meant to be, or negotiable. You are remarkable. And this poem is called Calcutta, a Phenotype. Calcutta reminds me of Trieste, Philip had once told me. A beautiful, rich, old woman, now forgotten and lonely. Philip had landed in Calcutta for the first time the year in which I was born. We did not know back then that nearly 3 decades later we would be walking down the crowded, cobbled streets of Meena Bazaar in the stale, ancient, moth-eaten city of Delhi, under twilight skies that change colors like old lovers do. Talking about his exhilaration on sighting the port of Calcutta and my solace on seeing the land disappear behind the clouds. Philip had come to Calcutta from France via Vietnam in 1990. I was headed to New York City via Hong Kong in 2009. Trieste was the main harbour of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, Philip had said to me one evening in 2017. It was a large empire, sprawling over all of Central Europe, but its access to the sea was limited. Trieste was a sea city, and the only big harbour in this aging empire, which made Trieste powerful, rich, and cosmopolitan. The Austro-Hungarian Empire collapsed after the First World War, and Trieste ended up being a part of Italy on the Western Front. But for most of the century, the city was just the Iron Curtain separating Western and Communist Europe. Soon, it was isolated and forgotten. But when you visit the city now, Philip says, you feel that once upon a time, it must have been a thriving center of activity. She's still rich, but very, very quiet. You talk like someone from a dream, I had replied to Philip, thinking about the colonial past of my birthplace, about Job Charnock and Charles Eyre choosing Calcutta over all other places, about the Portuguese and Armenian and British mariners who had once called this distant land Golgotha, from where some say my city got its name, Calcutta, but who had sailed to the perilous shores of this Golgotha in the 17th century nonetheless. You talk like someone from a dream, Philip, and for a moment you made me feel sad for Trieste, as though she were a real person. I think I will die like Trieste, rich, alone, forgotten. Philip had smiled and added, rich, alone, forgotten, but also beautiful, exquisitely beautiful, because Trieste is beautiful, like Calcutta. Calcutta knows about all my firsts. The first stolen D.H. Lawrence read under the torchlight of a Nokia 1600 mobile phone way past bedtime. The first time the engine of a car had revved to life under my unsteady hands. The first time that a beagle had licked my fingers. The first time that I had bought a cigarette, armed with zero experience and quixotic notions of adulthood. My friends and I, all of 18, had walked for 2 kilometers after college to a fairly desolate area that day. We had fumbled and faltered while asking the wayside panwala for a Marlboro. It was the only name that both of us knew back then. After that adult purchase, we had walked down Free School Street, lined with old books and gramophone records, looking for a suitable hideout. We had eventually reached the sanctum sanctorum of Hogg's Market, which swallows people into its great bowels with overpowering stenches of barrels of unsold pig's cheeks dumped behind shops which had spotlessly clean front doors. We had eventually taken shelter in an abandoned church on Sutter Street, to hide from the rain and our shame of not having found a corner of space where we could experience our rite de passage. No matter where you go in Calcutta, curious eyes will be your constant companions. The cigarette had gone soggy by that time, lying in the back pocket of my skin-tight denims, a symbol of our aborted, orchestrated plans of growing wings like butterflies, tired of our caterpillar lives. We had taken a Kalipili taxi back home that day, the second best adult thing to do in 2008, our lips tasting of each other's pomegranate lip balms where they could have tasted of burnt tobacco. The Ambassador taxi, with its galloping meter, had driven us from Park Street via Esplanade to Tireti Bazaar and Poddarport, and finally to Ahiritola. My friend, Madhubi, stayed in an old North Calcutta house in those days. She lives in Bombay now. She had quickly disappeared behind the anonymity that the crumbling edifices of Calcutta 700005 can offer. Anyone can come to Calcutta from anywhere and melt into the city. On hot summer afternoons, the lanes and bylanes of North Calcutta sleep like the owners of the red brick buildings situated there. At other times of the day and the year, the lanes are abuzz with children playing gully cricket, hand-drawn rickshaws, fresh markets, pharmacies, many pharmacies well stocked on antacids and aspirins, confectionaries selling hot, spongy, syrupy, sweet rasagollas, and frying radha-vallovis in cauldrons full of spluttering mustard oil, barking stray dogs, women wearing baggy maxis or loose nighties, screaming obscenities in jest at each other across courtyards, superannuated men sitting on charpoys playing card games at 12 noon, young students making beelines near local food carts selling egg rolls and greasy chicken chow mein, and overflowing side drains choking with stale scales of fish, rotting vegetable peels, and leftover rice. The old houses, some of them 100 years old, stand tall, though bent, as reminders of Calcutta's lost glory and heritage. Some of these houses have little banyan trees growing roots inside moss-infected walls. Some others have money plants drooping out of broken, stained glass windows. Some houses stand arrogant, distinct from their neighbors, recently repaired and painted in loud, bright, garish shades of strawberry pink or lemon tart yellow. Their insides, though, are largely the same. Voices whispering in kitchens, the calm routine of salt and sea-smelling smoke coming out of the exhausts, unassuming rooms with the plaster falling off in places, narrow, steep stairs leading up to an open terrace, red cemented floors on which people still sit down cross-legged to eat their large meals, calendars of Kali or Krishna smirking from pegs hammered into arbitrarily chosen spots on the walls, four-poster beds with mosquito nets and soft side pillows, grey, sweat-stained curtains, and infinitely patient, infinitely proud, infinitely suffering faces. Calcutta is aware of all my firsts. The first love letter still unsent, the first poem still unpublished, the first dream still unrealized, the first kiss at Eden Gardens, under a light drizzle, standing behind a row of otoshi bushes, with drunk fireflies for company, fluttering their Tinkerbell wings relentlessly, restlessly, maddeningly. In that dot of a moment, I had felt infinite. I had convinced myself that love is forever. But Calcutta knows better. Calcutta knows not only of my very first kiss, but of the several first kisses with the several strangers that came and went later. I left Calcutta at a time when the city had nothing else left to offer me. I go back annually for 3 weeks to get healed or for lessons in humility. When I feel young, confident, beautiful, I choose places like Manhattan, South Delhi, East London. The list of reasons to leave Calcutta is endlessly long when you're growing up. The list of reasons to love Calcutta catches you by surprise by raising its hesitant head when you have grown up, when your heart has flown from mountain to sea, to city, to person, when you're weary of chasing fame and failure, and you long to be home. I went home 8 months ago after an exile of 8 years, and Calcutta accepted me with a warmth that I have known nowhere else. It is easy to fall in pace and in love with the excruciatingly slow, relaxed, complacent life that this city offers. Is it healthy though? I shall never know. But what I do know is that life cannot be all that bad as long as I can take the ferry from Babughat at sunset and set sail down the Ganges with nowhere in particular to go and no one in particular to meet. Okay, not bad for a first, so to speak.
And the timing?